President and Trustee, Engineer Jocelyn Lim, Mr. Jake Siambio, Ms. Daisy Agustin, Ms. Bing Kabawatan, Mr. Efren Tolentino, to our supportive and lovable advisors, Sir
Para
Julius
namang
Pasio,
ulit.
Dr. Evangeline De Jesus, Ms. Lisette Reyes, Ms. Janet Hernandez, Ms. Evangeline Iya, our Chief Counsel, Attorney Katrina Bote Viguelias, and yours truly, Dr. Eugene Tamay III, the Chapter President. Good morning to all. Please stay in the whole stretch of the webinar. Again, welcome to the webinar and thank you for joining REBAP Mandaluyong Chapter for today. Good morning again.
Okay, thank you, Press you. Okay, so I'd like to call now our VP Internal, Ma'am Claudia Dan, to introduce our presenter for today. Ma'am Flora. Ma'am, kindly unmute.
Hi, good morning again. I'd like to introduce to you our sponsor for today, Tough Properties. Actually, Tough Properties are the Gaisanos from retail to real estate. Taking off from their matriarch's legacy and love for Cebu, the Gaisano family of Cebu breaks through from retail to real estate with astounding success. The Gaisano family is called the Ayalas of the South for operating malls across Visayas and Mindanao since the 1970s. 1970s, it was the mother, Doña Modesta Gaisano, opened a small restaurant, shop in Colon, Cebu, which would become the White Gold Department Store, the predecessor of Gaisano malls. After the death of Doña Modesta, the sons David, Stephen, Henry, Victor, and John divided their corporation and operated their own Gaisano malls. Run today by the second generation Gaisanos, their malls now include Metro Gaisano, Gaisano Country Malls, and the Gaisano Capital Group. Tough Properties is the property development arm or VIXAL group of companies with vertical and horizontal residential developments in Luzon and Cebu. If you notice, they're not really, they're so quiet. They're not so, hindi pa sila masyadong kilala, no? But I was able to see their properties in Cebu just last week, and we had the opportunity to really had audience with Mr. Jack Gaisano, and he really told us how from their humble beginnings and where they are now, and they have a big meron silang yung East Gate of Cebu, which is like parang they are at the heart of Cebu City, and they will have several developments there, like may nakatayo na ngayon doon yung East Gate, and they will have a hotel and different condotels and other ang tawag dyan, other other buildings to be built. And now they have, actually I'm now in Lipa City because I am building my network for their subdivision, the first in Lipa, and they're actually on the acquiring properties. outside of Cebu. And they have at the moment symphony in Camias, and they will also open it for sale at the condominium in what's this, Caloocan. And to present further the project, may I welcome Mr. Byron Lina to present the project in fully, in details. Thank you.
Application for accreditation.
Byron?
Hi, good morning.
Ayan, oh.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Ano yan? Asan na nga yun? Papel
Ito,
yun.
oh, yan, oh. Wala naman siya papel. Ito yung papel ko, eh.
So, good morning, everyone. I'm Byron Lina. I'm the assistant sales manager for Luzon,
Yan ba
and I'll be
yun?
presenting to you the
Nakalagay pa nga.
our latest
Wala ako dyan,
offering here in Top
Naku,
Properties.
dapat
Okay.
meron tayo.
So, thank you, Tita
Bakit di
Flor,
ka
for
bigay nung
the
nandun tayo?
mm,
Wala pa dyan?
well
Kasi
well
binigay pa
composed
sa atin.
well composed introduction about
Meron
app
kami, kaya naman ba
properties.
ipapasa?
Okay, so our
Hindi,
tagline
wala
is
naman dyan.
make it simple, make it app. Yeah. So as you can see in your screen, no, these are the existing projects of top properties. So we have
Ano, hindi mo pala
Simple Camias,
inasikaso
the
to.
Horizons 101 in
Ito,
Cebu.
hindi mo pala inasikaso.
The Mandalay Bay is a
Tagal na.
joint venture with the Hong Kong Land,
Ayan,
Sultana
tagal na
Nature
nag-pending to.
Residences.
Kasi sabihin mo sa
Ayan.
akin.
So, actually, TAP is under the Fiscal Development
Siyempre, ako
Corporation,
sasabi
which
sa
is
akin, ay,
owned
huwag
by
mo kain
the
doon. Hindi naman
Ang tagal
Kaisanos,
ko
no?
na
So,
sinasabi sa'yo yung
we are
pagkakataon.
into retail properties, financial services, and mall operations. But of course, would like to, I think you are very much familiar with Metro. Yan, so that is under the
Pinamdam ko na
mall
sa'yo nung isang
operations,
araw
the
pa to.
Metro, the Pacific Mall, and then for the financial services, we have the Fiscal Securities and Stock Brokerage Incorporated, the AB Capital and Investment Corporation. Of course, the Wealth Bank, this is a partnership with a local bank in Korea, the Orient Asian Lending Incorporation, Incorporated, Filipino Fund Incorporated, and of course, for the property, this is the top properties. Okay, so kindly meet our bosses, no? The tall guy standing on the right side is Mr. Jack Gaisano, our chairman, the chairman of Top Properties. He is in charge of uh, the property segment of the Gaisano Group of Companies or the Biscal. Yeah. So Top Properties is the property development arm of the Biscal Group of Companies with vertical and horizons projects here in Manila and in Cebu. And also we Top Properties also oversees the operation of Midland Development Corporation and the HDL. So this is our existing projects, but from Cebu, we have the East Gate, the Symphony Nicole, Sultana Nature and Residences, and Horizon Cebu or Horizons 101. Yan, Horizons 101 is the tallest building in Visayas and Mindanao, and the second overall outside Visayas and Mindanao, and the tallest building in Cebu. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the location of our so as we expand our horizons. Okay, so going north, so we have already an existing projects here. Actually, for the completed projects, for the vertical development, so we have the Symphony Camias, we have the ongoing pre-selling Symphony Camias 2, and for the horizontal communities, if you're familiar or if you are acquainted with Laguna, so Citation Residences, this is a completed project of top properties. And of course, our pre-selling and ongoing development, ongoing and selling is the Solaya in Lipa. Yeah, but first I'm going to present briefly about the Symphony Camias. Okay, so our and catch up on here is moving to the good life. So this project, the Symphony Camias Tower 1 is ready for occupancy. So RFO siya. And the location is in KG Street, Barangay East Camias, Quezon City. And for the key destinations for our co-brokers, okay, shopping centers, we are nearby around mga 1.5 to 5 kilometers. We are 1.5 kilometers away from Gateway Mall, from Araneta City, Robinson's Magnolia, UP, Ayala Techno Hub, and UP Town Center. For the school, we're just around mga nasa 1.2 to 5 kilometer radius lang tayo. We are near the IT, Philippine Science High School, UP Diliman, Ateneo de Manila, and Miriam College. And for the hospital, we're just around 3 to 4 kilometers lang away from Quirino Memorial Medical Center and Veterans Memorial Medical Center. Yeah, so project overview. Of course, this is a residential condominium erected in a 1,114 square meters, 17 floors with 400 residential units. It's a 27 units per floor. We have 3 parking floors and 91 parking slots. And of course, the project is ready for occupancy. Dito, we only have around mga nasa 40 to 50 units na lang yung remaining natin dito. Yeah, so this is the floor plans. No? For the amenity floor plan enter level, so we have the Sky Garden. May mga units tayo with the Sky Garden with 3 floor intervals. We have the swimming pool, the gym area, the function room. We have units with balcony and units without balcony. Yan. This is the typical floor plan for from 8th to 17th floor. Yan. Uniform lang siya. And then for the 18th floor, and we have the unit with balcony and unit without balcony. All in all, 27 units per floor. And then for the penthouse floor plan, all just the same. Yan, unit plans. Okay, so we have the unit T1. Okay, yung mga ranges ng mga floor areas natin dito is from we have the 20.18. Yan, bed, living and diners around 12.74, kitchen is 4.19, and toilet and bath is 2.25. We have units without balcony. So this is unit T1. And for units with balcony naman, the second one, okay, so that's around 22.13 square meters. And for Unit E, this is our one of the largest studio units that we offer here in Symphony Camias Tower 1. Okay, that's around 26.5, 3.46 of which is the balcony. And bed living and diners around 11.26. The kitchen is around 7.61 square meters, and the toilet and bath is around 4.17 square meters. So this is the unit finishes. Actually, we would this presentation would like to highlight the actual turnover photos talaga. Yeah, so you can see, please refer on the photo. So these are the actual photo of our actual turnover unit in Symphony Camias Tower 1. Yeah. So this is the kitchen area. Yeah. So this is the kitchen area, the toilet and bath. So this is the kitchen. And then, of course, the toilet and bath fixtures and living and dining area. Yeah. So this is the actual turnover unit photo. Yeah. So provisions, we have provision for window type air provisions, we have window type air conditioning and telephone and line cable TV. Yeah. So in top, we have this crafted comfort. So small details might be overlooked in a grand design, but often the tiniest details is the one that makes a project truly stand out. So for Tower 1, so our featured crafted comfort, so yung mga
Recording in
entrance features
progress.
natin is we have the keycard entry for door and lever type door handle, of course, the door closer, motion activated foyer light. We have a lower light switches and a handle delay. And these are the model units, the actual pictures. Yeah, so this is the kitchen, the toilet and bath. This is the dining and the living area. Yeah. So everyone, we would like to invite you for the actual viewing. Just message me or message us, so you can see the actual our sales gallery or our showroom. So we can tour around to Symphony Camias Tower. Yeah, so this is the amenities. Yeah, and this is the main lobby, the swimming pool area, and the function room, the gym area, and of course the retail row. Actually, for the retail row, meron tayong mga available sales. Or just let me know if you are interested. Building features, we have a backup power, Wi-Fi and CCTV in common areas, fire protection features and detection system with 24-hour security, and of course, every tower of vertical developments, yung mga existing natin is managed by the Colliers International Property Management, even our projects in Cebu. Colliers is the property management okay, so go for the Symphony Camias Tower 2, okay, so the license number is 121 pre-selling. And so youthfully class of living and social spaces in Quezon City. Yeah, so this is the artist rendition of upcoming tower, Symphony Camias Tower 2. Yeah, so actually, yung mga nearby establishments is just the same because Symphony Camias Tower 2 is just 45 meters across Tower 1. So ito yung mga shopping centers natin, we're just around 1.5 to 5 kilometers away. For the schools, we're just around 1.2 to 5 kilometers away. And for the hospitals, just around 2.9 to 3 kilometers to 4 kilometers away from the hospitals. Yeah. As I was mentioning kanina, Cinco de Camias Tower is 45 meters away from Tower. Yeah. So project overview, okay, it's just the same. Project location is KG Street, Barangay Camias, Quezon City. This is a residential condominium erected in a 1,524.8 square meters land with 19 residential levels, one ground floor, and five podium parking. 582 residential units with 165 parking slots. So yung ratio natin is around mga 1:4. And yung mga offerings natin dito are same with Tower 1, all studio units with options to combine. That's around 20 to 29 square meters. And then the projected turnover will be on Q3 of okay, so this is the floor plan, no? So this is yung ating amenity pala for amenity level for the Tower 1 is located on the 8th floor with yung mga units natin dito for this one is the typical floor plan on the 9th floor around 27 units lang din po. So kind of low dense. So unit layouts and renders and layouts for the studio A is around 31.53 square meters. This is what we guess. Studio units that we offer in Tower 2. That's around 31.53 square meters. Then yung the total balcony is around 2.65. The living and dining is around 25.38 and 3.5 square meters. So this is the artist rendition of Unit A. And then for the studio unit B, that's around 25.04 square meters. Yeah, unit B. Yes, and unit C is around 24.61 to 25.72. Yeah, and so this is the artist rendition. Unit E is around 33.42 to 34.71. Yeah. Unit P is around 24.62 square meters. Yeah. And the unit finishes, so yeah, just flashing on your screen for the doors, floor finish, wall finish, and for the kitchen, for the windows, yeah, and toilet and bath fixtures, lighting, okay. Yeah, so the crafted comfort feature naman for Tower 2, we have the illuminated light switches, lower light switch, USB outlet for charging, D-Day attachment, lever type door handle and keycard access, same with Tower 1. And we have a door closer also, same with Tower 1. So for yung Tower 1 kasi natin, pets are not allowed. But for the Tower 2, this is a pet-friendly community. Ito yung parang pinaka-improvement that we did for Tower 2. Yan. Then for the amenities, yan, the main lobby, the swimming pool area, pool deck, this the pool lounge, yan, the fitness gym, mini pet park, yan, and also we have a retail road here. And then next, okay, jumping to from Manila to Lipa. So kung nasaan kami ngayon ni Tita Flor, where we right now in Solaya, Lipa. Currently, this nag-open house kami dito. Okay, so why Solaya Lipas? So, anong ibig sabihin ng Solaya Lipa? What does it mean? So, Solaya came from the word sol, which is sun in Latin or Spanish, and Ilaya is a north or upper town in Batangas. Okay, so I'll just flash na lang po the ano. So, I think very limited time natin dito. So I'm just gonna flash the presentation. Yeah, so we have the Sinta, the Mutya, so mga house and lot naman yung offerings po natin dito for Solaya. Yan. And then yung palang mga sa Kamias natin, yung mga condominium or vertical developments natin, that's around mga nasa 3M going 5 million. And for the house and lot packages naman po natin dito for Solaya is nasa ano naman po tayo, around 5M going 8 million. Yan. So for tripping details, yon, kung gusto niyo po ng details from of the project, yon, just message Jello for Symphony, Jessa for Solaya, and ako naman po is the overall. Yan. So thank you very much for your time. And it's an honor presenting to the REBAP community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Byron. Thank you so much. So, sir, they're requesting for the copy of the slides. Can you please provide and we will send to all the attendees. Okay lang, Sir Byron?
Yes, ma'am. We'll send po.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Staff Properties. Oh, ang galing, di ba? Hindi sila nag-pre-selling ng Tower 1 nila. RFO na nang start silang i-market. So, ganun sila ka-okay as a developer. Okay, so before we go to our main event, so I'd like to welcome first from Lawag, si RBC, from REBAP Green Hills, si Ruth, and then from QC, REBAP QC, si PRO Aldrin, and then of course, President ng Marikina, Preslyn G, welcome. I'd like also to welcome Tita Cecil, welcome back po. And then from REBAP QC, si RB Para, and of course, si Amiga Amor, hello. And then from LU again, si Rosemary. And then from REBAP QC, VP Finance, si RB Evelyn. Yes, thank you for joining. Now, so we'd like to start our main event by introducing our very special guest. She's a certified public accountant, a CPA, a lawyer, and of course, same natin, a licensed broker din siya, and then an appraiser by profession. She has an office in Tugigaraw. Yan, so from the north, ayan, pwede mo puntahan si attorney. She's from Tugigaraw City. And also an office here in Ortigas Center, Pasig. She's currently the senior practitioner of Cubacub Law and Accounting Office, which handles consultancy for various local and foreign companies, as well as civil and criminal cases in relation to business operations. Our speaker has taught subjects in law and accounting in various colleges and university in her hometown for several years already. And also, she's a much sought after speakers in seminar, trainings, and conferences involving tax, labor laws, accounting, and leadership. And of course, most important of all, one of our favorite speakers, I'd like to welcome Attorney Alet. Hello, Attorney.
Hi, Ma'am Venice. Yes, good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for having me here. Uh, if I understand it right, Ma'am, will this be 1 hour? How many minutes pa allotted for me?
Ma'am, you can talk up to 1.5 hour.
Okay.
Attorney, just to let you know, we are more than 100 right now and we are in
Wow.
FB Live. So beyond 100 up to this Zoom link will be directed to FB Live. So you'll be in FB Live right now, Attorney Allen.
Wow. Thank you, Sir Eugene. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you. I'm glad to be back here. So I will be talking about mana. Before I discuss a lot about wills and succession, but in this point of time, I will also discuss on the tax aspect. Okay, kasi nga dun sa sinasabi natin na Tax Amnesty Act, which kanina nga nasabi nila sir na extended no up to June 14, 2023, which was supposedly it expired last June 14, 2021. All right. So let's discuss first on the definition of an estate. And I'm so glad that I have fellow lawyers here who would corroborate, or at least, you know, if there are inputs, you're also very welcome to put it in the chat. So estate, as we define, is everything comprising the net worth of an individual. So individual po to, natural person, not juridical no or corporate. So individual including all land and real estate. So all land, real estate, possessions, okay, personal properties, also financial securities, cash and other assets that the individual owns or has a controlling interest in. Sometimes na ang tingin po natin is it will only be involving, you know, immovable property like land, building, residential houses, no? Although yun. But it also involves personal property. So kahit po yung mga sasakyan should be kasama po yan. And according to the Memorandum Circular of the BIR, Revenue Regulation 6-2019, you can also search on that. It would also issue e-car certificate authorizing registration to personal properties, not just real estate. Kasi ang nangyayari lang po is sometimes we just need it because we need the car certificate authorizing registration for the Register of Deeds, di ba, para ma-transfer natin yung titles to the properties. But also, we have handled cases also where pati personal properties kasama siya. No? Also shares of stock, and also yung mga vehicles, okay? Kasi kakailanganin din for you to transfer it with the LTO, no? Transportation Office. So, yan yung estate, okay, of that involves yun dun nga sa estate tax later on. So iba po yung estate sa successional rights, no? Successional rights, it's covered in the Civil Code, Article 777, no? I like it na 7 because in Hebrew 7 is perfection, no? So 777 of the Civil Code provides that the rights of succession are transmitted from the moment of the death of the decedent. Ang decedent po, no, we call the person na yung namatay, no, decedent. So, yung right mo lang to succeed, no, for example, ikaw ay heir, no, it will only start or accrue from the moment of death of the decedent. Bakit important yon? Because there are some, no, there are some who already transact businesses kahit buhay pa yung mga magulang, no? In fact, no, if you read the prodigal son in the Bible, 'di ba buhay pa yung magulang, no? Father niya, he already wanted to get his inheritance. But in the Philippines, that cannot be possible, legally possible, because yung successional rights natin according to the Civil Code will only be transmitted from the moment of death. Kailangan may death. That's why this case, no, Ferrer versus spouses Diaz is a very good case, no. It involves a waiver of future heir. Wini-waive ng future heir, and worse, no, ginawa niya yun in favor of another person. Tapos itong tao naman, inannotate niya sa title of the nag-annotate siya ng adverse claim, no, with the Register of Deeds. So sabi ng Supreme Court in this case, for the inheritance to be considered future, the succession must not have been opened at the time of the contract. So sabi dito na Supreme Court, at the time of execution ng reyna, no, the heir, no, wini-waive niya yung hereditary rights niya and succession to either of her parents' properties. Binigay niya waive niya in favor of a third person, no. Sabi ng Supreme Court, that is not valid. The waiver is not valid kasi yung right of succession po according to our law will only start from the time of death of the decedent. So her parents were not yet dead at that time, 'di ba? So hindi mo pwede validly i-transfer 'yan or i-waive, even pati yung pag-waive. And also, kahit pa no na annotate as adverse claim or kahit pa notarize yun, hindi po ibig sabihin na na-notarize ang document, it's already legal and valid. No, it only converts that document into becoming a public document. That means, when you go to court, hindi mo na kailangan i-prove yung authenticity or genuineness of the signature. Kumbaga, meron siyang presumption of regularity. Yun po yung importance po ng public document.
Ito ba may Facebook
Sige.
Right. So no right or interest flows from Reyna's invalid waiver. So dahil wala namang interest walang right na nag-flow, hindi mo rin pwede yon mabigyan ng legal claim yung or i-recognize yung
hindi wala lang page yung rebap nga.
saan may
Ito nga yun.
Ay, hello, kindly unmute po lahat kasi you can be heard from the presentation ni Atty. Thank you.
Okay po. So kanina yung po yung estate at saka succession, iba po yung estate tax. Okay po. Estate tax. So Republic Act 10963 simplifies the estate tax. This is the train law. This is the train law that took effect, January 2018. So it's very simple talaga kasi from a 6 bracket schedule, dati kung tumataas yung estate mo, net estate mo, tataas din yung rate mo. So parang the higher it goes, the higher yung rates. Pero ngayon, instead of ranging from 5% to 20%, single rate na siya, 6% based on the value of the net estate. Hindi po gross estate, okay? Or the total estate of a person, That's why it's important na you also get a certified public accountant if it reaches the threshold, Mamaya makikita natin yung change in the train law sa threshold na kakailanganin na hindi ka lang agad magpa-file ng estate tax return mo. Kakailanganin mo ng certified public accountant if you reach that certain threshold kasi yung computation po nun. Kasi minsan may nagtatanong, attorney, lahat nito conjugal property. O bakit ilalagay lahat subject to estate tax? Hindi po, merong computation po yan, tinatanggal pa natin yung share of the surviving spouse. So nagkakaroon din ng iisa-isahin yung property kasi pwede na, was it the marriage, was it before the effectivity of the family code, was there a prenuptial agreement, is this property conjugal, is this property belonging only exclusively to the decedent. So yung mga yon, very very important kasi so many cases would arise. Marami kaming ibang hawak na cases na how many years na buyer in good faith na yung client pero kine-claim pa rin na ganon, na merong may na-preterition or may heir na hindi na isama, ganyan, or may property na hindi rin nailagay. So important po na once you file the estate tax also, you have technical people behind you. Okay? So ito po yung estate tax amnesty na through our previous President Duterte, RA 11213 or the Tax Amnesty Act of 2019. So actually the BIR and also the government wanted to really collect, so they granted an estate tax amnesty for 2 years. Supposedly, year 27, dapat mag-expire na po ito, nung June 14, 2021. Pero there's no need to worry. It was extended up to June 14, 2023. Okay, 2023. So sa June 14, 2023, mag-expire na po ito. Attorney, ano ang ibig sabihin niyan? Ngayon po kasi with the Tax Amnesty Act, you can go 6%, 6% lang in the net estate of the decedent, okay? Tapos, walang penalties. Okay? Pero hindi po ibig sabihin wala na po kayong babayaran. Babayarin niyo pa rin po yung estate tax but without the penalty. Tandaan niyo po na ang penalties po natin dyan is um, kung previous law po yan, no, you are allowed na dapat nag-notice of death ka 6 months from the date no of death. Yung mga ganon. So it starts from there. Tapos i-penalize po kayo ng interest, surcharge, and compromise. No? Meron pong schedule of compromise penalties din si PIR. And marami po kaming cases ngayon na double death or triple death na. So, una, namatay yung mother, then sumunod after a few years, yung father, and then sumunod, no? Meron ulit. So, paano yun? No? You will be filing different estate tax returns for all of that. Kasi maybe the same properties, some of those properties will be the same, but it will be subjected to the estate tax, no? Doon sa bawat death na yon. And you will be paying interest, penalty, and surcharge on the different dates from the time that it was already due. Okay, so yung ang ganda, no? We have until June 14, so tell your clients, June 14, 2023, they have to file their estate tax return. So, hindi, ang coverage po to, okay, estates of the decedents who died on or before December 31, 2017. Okay, December 31, 2017. Bakit gano'n attorney? Kasi nga, magta-train law na January 1, 2018. Magkaiba po kasi yan, which we will discuss later. Pero very briefly lang, kasi medyo matagal po to, no? Ilang subjects po ito na dinidiscuss yung taxation. Or, yung mga estates of the decedents who died on or before December 31, 2017, or yung mga may assessment pa po that remain unpaid or accrued. That means due na, pero accrued po, no? Due na but not yet paid as of December 31, 2017. Pero po may exclusions po to, ha? Hindi po siya absolute. Pag meron na po kayong final and executory na po yung delinquent, okay, estate tax po ninyo, hindi na po siya covered. Okay, so delinquent estate tax liabilities that have become final and executory, kahit po may train law, you are already subjected to the law that was existing at the time of the death of the decedent. Okay? It also excludes pag meron na po properties, yung kliyente nyo or yung mga kamag-anak nyo, no, na namatay, na pending case na po siya in appropriate courts such as PCGG or Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act cases, or may pending plunder case, Anti-Money Laundering Act cases, tax evasion cases, or other criminal offenses, ma-exclude po yun. So hopefully, no, hindi po kasama dito. So anong maganda po dito? 6% flat rate, okay, on the total net assets of net estate of the decedent at the time of death. Okay? Without penalties at all stages of the transfer of the property. Okay, but there's a minimum of 5,000 minimum estate tax amnesty for each decedent. So, meron ka pang minimum 5% estate tax amnesty, no, for each decedent. Bakit each decedent? Kasi gaya po nung sinabi ko kanina, pwede po siya na multiple deaths on the same property. Kasi conjugal siya, tapos may anak pa dapat, tapos pati yung anak isa namatay din. Okay? So, kasama po dito ang stock shares, personal properties, and proprietary shares. So, yung mga real estate appraisers po dyan, I hope that you also have experience assessing, no? Nag-a-appraise na po kayo because they needed it for the transfer of shares of stock. Okay. So, itong amnesty po cannot be filed by anyone. It can only be filed by an executor or administrator or the legal heirs, okay, transferees or beneficiaries of the decedent. Okay? So it accepts filing within 2 years, okay, from June 15, 2019, initially until June 14, 2021, but now it's extended to June 14, 2020 to 2023. Okay? So baka tanungin niyo po parang saan ba yung fina-file? Mag-stop share po muna ako. No? Saan po fina-file yung ang tax return? Okay? It's usually filed at the last yung RDO po, Revenue District Office of the BIR, that has jurisdiction over the last residence of the decedent. So kung ang last resident niya Quezon City po kayo. So kung Mandaluyong yung last residence niya, sa RDO po no ng Mandaluyong po kayo. Doon po kayo magpa-process. Okay? So the amnesty shall only be filed, sabi ko nga kanina, by those people na in-enumerate ko kanina. Okay? Paano attorney kapag non-resident siya? Ibig sabihin, pumunta siya sa abroad, nagpagamot siya doon, okay? And then wala actually siyang residence, no? It can be at the residence of the executor or the administrator, okay? In the Philippines. Okay? Yun. Paano kung wala pong executor or administrator siya? So, pwede po siya sa RDO, okay? May specific na RDO po, si BIR na nilalagay, which is, if I'm not mistaken, no? South po, no? South Quezon City. Okay? Doon po ifa-file lahat po nung walang residence. Okay? Last known residence. Okay? So, pati po yun. And then pag may client po kayo, you also request for an e-car from the BIR for your personal properties. Okay? Personal properties. Okay? Yung mga questions po niya, you can maybe put it in the chat box and then yung team po, no, will just collate it and maybe answer it. Or later on, I will have my last slide. Okay? You can email or scan the QR code and then just send me your questions. Okay po? So, yung IRR, kung gusto niyo pong malaman paano ba ini-implement, no? Implementing rules and regulations, all of those details, you just go and click on the, hanapin niyo po no, sa Google, no? Revenue Regulation 6-2019. So, dito yung exclusions, yung rate, paano ba vina-value, paano po yung valuation ng BIR, okay? Yung minimum estate amnesty tax. So, the IRR is already available there, okay? Now, with the train law, which is 2018, no po, January 1, 2018, ano po yung difference niya? Ibig sabihin po nito, pag hindi niyo po na-avail yung amnesty, okay, this year, babalik po kayo kasi the law that will prevail will be the law prevailing at the time of death. Okay? So, anong changes dito sa train law as well as yung 6% flat rate, no, na binigay sa amnesty? It removes the deduction from gross estate pertaining to actual funeral expenses. Kasi po before, the effectivity of the train law, yung train law po kasi after January 1, 2018, ito na po yung magte-take effect. Pag may namatay prior to that date, it will be the old law, okay? The old law which will prevail. Dati po, i-gather mo lahat ng funeral expenses, mga resibo po niyan, or 5% of the gross estate, of course, whichever is lower, because this is the BIR, di po ba? Dapat whichever is lower, kasi deduction po to. Or judicial expenses. So, pag may mga kaso-kaso, di po ba? May mga receipts po doon, i-claim mo rin yun as allowable deduction. Medical expenses, meron lang po siyang maximum, no, or threshold na binibigay ng batas. But with the train law, tinanggal na po niya lahat yon, simplified na siya. Okay, pero ginawa niyang kasama na siya sa standard deduction. Dati kasing standard deduction, 1 million in addition to all of these deductions pa. Yung funeral or 5% of the gross estate, judicial, medical expenses. Ang problem dito, ay namatay attorney, wala naman akong resibo. Wala po tayong magagawa. No? You cannot claim that kasi of course the BIR will ask you to substantiate the deductions that you want. Okay? So except standard deduction, wala po tong kailangan na resibo kasi provided by the law. Dati po, 1 million yan. But now, to simplify everything with the train law, it has been increased to 5 million. Okay? Another feature of the train law regarding estate tax is, dati po, ang family home, pwede mo lang siyang i-deduct. Okay, attorney, bakit dinededuct? Para bumaba po yung net estate nyo, bumaba din po yung tax nyo. Ito po yung mga allowable deductions in your estate tax. Okay? So dati po, ang family home, 1 million lang. Ngayon, ang ginawa ng train law, 10 million. Okay? And it already removed the condition na, before po kasi, no, pag di nyo na-avail yung amnesty, i-require din kayo that Oh, the family home must have, certified by the barangay captain of the locality of the decedent's family home. So before you can even claim the 1 million, you have to support it with a certification from the barangay that indeed, no, it was used as the decedent's family home. Eh, paano kung hindi? Okay, so you cannot claim this anymore. So other features of the train law, okay, sorry, this is 500,000, removes the deduction for non-resident estates, okay, pertaining to expenses, losses, indebtedness, and taxes, but provides for a standard deduction amounting to 500,000. So this is 500,000. Okay, so pag kino-compute po kasi no, yung estate, okay, net estate at saka yung estate tax, lalo na kapag hindi po nakatira sa Pilipinas, non-resident po or yung mga estate niya ay wala naman sa Pilipinas. Kasi pag Pilipino po kayo, Pilipino po yung namatay, the properties within the Philippines and also outside the Philippines are included in the estate. So yung mga non-resident estates, no, yung deductions na yun, pinoprorate po namin yun. No? But now, with the train law, simplified na. Standard deduction, 500,000. Okay, so simplified. Talagang pinadali nila para makakollect din, no? Because the taxation, no, taxes are the lifeblood of the country. So yun. So train law, another feature in estate tax, it deleted the provision that required the executor, administrator, or any one of the heirs to include in the estate tax return that part ng non-resident alien's gross estate not liquidated in the Philippines to be able to claim deductions. Okay? So hindi mo na kakailanganin yun. Kasi dati, that is a requirement. Okay? Lahat ng, ang tawag po, magugulat yung iba na bakit alien. Okay? Everyone who's not a citizen is called under the tax code alien. No? So, non-resident alien. Okay? Dati po kasi foreigner na nga siya. Non-resident, hindi nga siya nakatira dito. Alien pa siya. Hindi siya citizen. Okay? Pati yung properties niya, for example po, taga-US siya, pati po yung properties niya doon, kailangan i-disclose mo pa. Napakahirap. Eh, kung marami po siyang properties in Paris, in Korea, so kailangan ilagay mo pa lahat yun. But now, no, with the train law, hindi na, no, hindi, it deleted that provision, that requirement. Okay, for those estate not situated in the Philippines. Okay, kasi pag hindi mo dati yon ilagay, hindi ka pwedeng mag-claim ng deduction. And now, ang maganda rin po, although hindi ko alam kung maganda para sa mga CPAs na katulad ko, hindi na, dati kasi 2 million lang, kailangan mo na ng CPA certificate na mag-check kung talagang tama ba yung computation mo ng estate. Okay? Net, gross estate up to the deductions and then the net estate. Okay? Kasi may vanishing deductions. Marami pa pong mga nitty-gritty siya. Pero now, from 2 million, it already increased it to 5 million. So, hindi na kailangan ng below, no? 5 to 5 million. So, 5 million below, hindi na kakailanganin ng CPA. Below 5 million. Kasi kasama pala, 5 million. Alright. So, another feature is that it repealed the provision requiring filing of notice of death. Ito po kasi laging hindi alam na, namatay. Diba? Inayos mo na yung funeral, nalibing na lahat-lahat. You forgot about the filing of the notice of death. Okay? Kasi required na after death, within 2 months, you have to file a notice of death with the BIR. If you don't do this, meron na naman siyang penalty. But now, with the train law, it already removed that. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-file ng notice of death. And it extended the period within which the estate tax return should be filed. So sabi niya, nag-grieve ka pa. Dati, no, 6 months, 180 days from the time of death, yun ang sabi, no? 6 months. Pero ngayon, 1 year. 1 year from the decedent's death. So binigyan talaga ng allowance, no? More time. The government gave more time for people to file their estate tax returns, okay, for their deceased loved ones. Okay. Another provides for the payment by installment basis. Okay. But of course, this is subject to liquidity. Sasabihin nyo, no, that it is insufficient to pay the estate tax due. Kasi makikita naman, no, na hindi siya liquid. So someone has to shell out. Dati po kasi, you have to declare all the estate, lahat po ng properties, and then you cannot transfer anything, no, until mabayaran lahat yon. Paano po kung ang cash lang niya 50,000 sa bank, the rest are all real properties, so someone has to shell out, and that's difficult. So hindi siya liquid, no? So dito, payment shall be allowed within 2 years, okay, from the statutory date for its payment without civil penalty and interest. And there's a court case, sometimes, no, you have to also request from the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, they can still extend this to 4 years if there are grounds for that. Pwede nilang gawin yon, especially if there's a court case among heirs, diba? Or third parties that will prevent you from settling your estate tax. Okay? Also, it removed the 20,000 limit that may be withdrawn from the bank account without certification from the BIR. Ito po, no, pinagbabayad ka, hindi na nga liquid, pinagbabayad ka hanggang 20,000 lang, tapos kailangan pa ng certification from the BIR na nabayaran mo na. So parang it's a cycle na it's very difficult to really comply. Pero now, sabi ng government, you can already withdraw the whole amount. But you have to file to pay the final withholding tax of 6%. O, di ba? So at least, mawi-withdraw niyo na lahat ng amount pending the payment of the estate tax, no, nung ibang mga properties, but you have to file a final withholding tax of 6%. Okay? So yan. How about, no, in succession, meron po tayong tinatawag na will. Okay? Meron po minsan na namamatay na may gumagawa ng will, meron po na wala. Okay? Pag wala pong will, usually, familiar po kayo, ang ginagawa is extrajudicial settlement of the estate, no? Extrajudicial settlement. That means out of court settlement. Or if you go to court, the judicial settlement, no? Ang mangyayari. But there are also people who die na meron po silang last will and testament. I know you have heard na may mga artista po sa US, no, they donated, no, they made us heir yung mga pets nila, no. But in the Philippines, hindi po pwede yon, no. You have to give to, meron po tayong tinatawag na legitim, so mandatory, may nabibigay po talaga sa heirs. Okay, so how about, no, when you bequeath, okay, pag gumawa ka sa will, tapos for example, may sinabi ka na, oh, itong property ko sa Manila, ha, bumili ako dito. It shall have no owner, so it can be forever used by any one of my descendants, apo ng apo ko who wants to study in Manila or nearby city. Is that valid? That provision in the will is not valid. Okay, it is contrary to public policy. Bakit? When a will provides for indivision of property, meron lang pong limit na, oh, hindi nyo to pwede i-divide. Okay? The prohibition, okay, can only last for 20 years. So, 20 years lang po yung pwede na hindi mo pwedeng i-divide. Okay? Now, hindi ko na po diniscuss dito kasi na-discuss ko before, but it will just be a review. No, there are two types of will na po, pwedeng holographic or yung testamentary will, no, or yun. Yung holographic po is fully signed. Okay, fully signed, fully handwritten, dated and signed. Okay, so kung gagawa kayo ng will, this is the easiest. You write it, okay? You write it po and then you have to sign it. Okay? And then, wag niyo pong itatype, okay? Kailangan fully handwritten siya. Tapos, i-sign niyo po and then i-date. Okay? Put the date. So, that's the holographic will. The other type of will, kakailanganin niyo po talaga ng lawyer. And you have to have a lawyer. No? Later on, we will discuss bakit kakailanganin ng lawyer doon. Okay? Because when you do a will, marami pong provisions si Civil Code, no? Like Article 795, as to the time, as to the place, ano ba yung formalities niya, ano ba yung attestation clause, di ba? Pag yung iba po yan dun sa acknowledgement, okay? Yung attestation clause, sasabihin niya na pag hindi mo nailagay lang, ha, nakalimutan ng lawyer or ikaw gumawa, ginugal mo lang, kumuha ka ng form, tapos nakalimutan mong ilagay, the three credible witnesses signed the will in the presence of the testator and of one another, hindi na siya po pwede, no? So, yung will po kasi, hindi siya agad na ine-execute. You have to go to court and there is a proceeding, no? They call it probate, no, of the will. Tapos doon po makikita kung nag-comply with the legal requirements yung ginawa mong will. So, ito yung mga to, you see, these are cases na nakalimutan mong ilagay or hindi mo na ilagay that the three credible witnesses signed the will in the presence of the testator and of one another. Kasi kailangan po yung witnesses mo credible na at yung witnesses mo nakita yung testator din, lahat sila one another. Hindi po pwede yung isa nagtago, wala pala siya, nag-CR, di yan nakita, hindi po ma-approve yan. Madi-disapprove po yung, madi-deny, no, yung probate of the will. Or you did not contain the statement that the testator signed the will in the presence of the credible witnesses. O, di ba? Hindi mo lang nailagay yun, hindi na siya ma-enforce yung will na yon. Okay? Or the attestation clause does not contain the number of pages. Di po ba? Ganun po yung nitty-gritty. Very, very important and very specific po yung batas natin when it comes to wills. Okay? Notarial wills. So, number of pages upon which the will is written will become fatally defective. Okay? So, hindi po basta-basta. So, kung gusto po nyo, you can go holographic. Handwritten, signed, dated. Okay. A will whose attestation clause is not signed by the instrumental witnesses, okay? Yung attestation clause, nakalimutan na mapirmahan ng isa, so dapat titignan nyo lahat yan, no? Even in court, ganun ang ginagawa namin because kahit yung ibang copies, tas yung pa ang nabigay mong copy sa court, nakalimutan mong isign, scrap of paper siya. Kasi unsigned na document siya. So you have to be very particular with that all the witnesses sa attestation clause, lahat sila nakapirma. Okay? Or, nilagay lang jurat, hindi acknowledgement. Wrong, no? Magkaiba po yung nilagay mo lang subscribe and sworn to before me, gano'n, no? Hindi siya yung dapat na acknowledgement, fatally defective din po siya. So, ito lang po yung mga sample cases to emphasize to you that when it comes to all of these things, do not volunteer if you're not technically competent to do that will. Okay? So, it's best really na dalhin niya siya, no, to sa lawyer. Okay? Now, when you have wills also, you can revoke the will. Okay? By implication of law. For example, I want to give this 2012 Honda Civic car to my son. Okay, I executed it in 2013. But in 2014, the testator, I sold the car to another person for 1 million. But on my death, 2015, will I get the car or the 1 million? Wala na. Kasi by implication of law, yung testator, wala na, na-revoke niya na yung will na yon to give it to you. Kasi by implication, na-imply na by his act, wala na eh. So it also applies to bahay, di ba? O anak, nilagay ko dito sa will, sa ito tong bahay na to, tong house and lot na to, or itong condo na to. And then after a year, I sold it. No, that person sold it. No, your father sold it or your mother sold it. So wala na. Okay? Or revocation by an overt act. The will, meron siyang will, trinaw sa fire, and was burned. Okay? Despite the efforts of the testator to retrieve and save it. Or, pinunit niya yung will. Okay? Pinunit niya yung will. That is also a revocation by a revert act. Kahit pa i-paste mo siya, i-scotch tape mo siya, ibuuin mo siya, i-scan mo, or buuin mo yung will, hindi na pwede kasi that is a revocation by an overt act of the testator. Okay? Or by a revocation by another will. Gumawa siya ulit, 2012, gumawa siya ng will, and then nagbago yung isip niya, 2014, gumawa siya ng bagong will, pero nung tinignan niyo, pinoprobate na, nako, hindi siya tama, no? Kasi yung attestation clause, ganito, yung mga ganyan, hindi tama. So, ano mangyayari? Revoke na yon. Okay, because the intention of the testator was actually to revoke the will. Okay. So, ano mangyayari, attorney? Eh di parang walang will. Ano mangyayari? Eh di, as if the decedent, no, died without a will. Alright. So, yun na, no? What is probate of a will? Okay. Ito pong probate of a will, ito po yung sinasabi ko na pag may last will and testament, hindi po agad-agad ito na, itong sinabi ni nanay, mag-divide-divide tayo, ganito, akin daw ito, ito sa'yo. You have to go to court. Okay, you have to go to court and do the process of probate of a will. So, may a will be executed by a foreigner. May kliyente kayo. Ito, nangyayari po to lagi. Yung kliyente mo bumili ng condominium, di ba? Tapos ngayon, paano yun, no? Gumawa siya ng will, it was executed in Korea, for example. Pwede ba siyang i-probate sa Philippines? Kasi yung property, yung condominium, nandito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Hindi siya na-probate sa Korea. Can it be allowed here? Sabi niya, yes, no? Our laws do not prohibit the probate of the will, even if in-execute ng foreigner, kahit hindi pa po siya na, okay, kahit hindi pa po siya na po-probate abroad, pwede po siyang masubject to probate dito sa Philippines, okay? So, a foreign will, ang tawag po dun foreign will, no, can be given legal effect in our jurisdiction. Okay, sa Civil Code po natin, Article 816, that the will of an alien, okay, hindi po to yung alien na outside Earth, opo, yung alien according to the tax code is someone who is not a citizen of the Philippines, okay? Who is abroad produces effect in the Philippines if made in accordance with the formalities prescribed by the law. For example, in that place, okay? For example, sa Japan, they don't sign it anymore. The documents in I've watched that the documents meron lang silang specific stamp. 'Di ba? In Japan, they have specific stamp. Kasi sa atin, dapat talaga sign mo 'yan. Or pag di mo kaya, magta-thumb mark ka, 'di ba? But in some countries, they have an official stamp, no? Even in Korea, I have seen, 'di ba? Yung mga telenovela meron stamp na lang sila. So if the formalities there, no, recognize that kind of document, then it can also be recognized here, yung formalities abroad. Okay? So yan. Alright. So now, let's go to paano po ba yung mana? Okay, yan po yung probate, no? Paano po ba yung mana? Okay, T is the testator. Okay, for example, sabi mo nanay or tatay na namatay, no, has legitimate sons A and B. So may anak siyang dalawa, si A saka si B. Okay? So sabi niya A was instituted as sole and universal heir to an estate of 1 million. So yung estate po na sinasabi dito, assuming 1 million. Okay? Net estate. That means tanggal na po dyan yung share sa surviving spouse. Okay? And a legacy of 100,000 was given to the testator's friend. Anong ibig sabihin ng ganun? That means may sa Pilipinas po kasi, no? Sorry kung mabilis. Okay, sa Pilipinas po kasi yung estate po natin is divided into the legitimate and the free portion. Akala po natin nung iba na, ay hindi, attorney, binigay ko lahat, no? Yung tatay ko binigay niya lahat sa akin. Ito yung last will and testament niya. Kahit po yan ma-approve sa probate, hindi ibig sabihin sa'yo na lahat. Kahit sinabi na sole ka. Because in the Philippines, meron po laging legitim. Yung legitim, pupunta pa rin po yun sa heirs mo. Ano lang ang pwede mong ibigay sa last will and testament? Yung free portion lang po. Okay? Yung free portion. So, how do we do it? In this case, in this example, 1 million siya, yung estate, you divide it by 2, half of it will be legitim. Ano po tong legitim? Pupunta po yan sa mga heirs. Okay? Sa heirs. Sa heirs, okay? And then yung free portion, pupunta po yan kung kanino mo kanino mo ibibigay sa last will and testament. Alright? So in this example, 1 million yung estate, i-divide po natin by 2, nakikita nyo, 500,000 po magiging legitim, 500,000 po ang magiging free portion. So si testator, may anak siya, no, lalaking anak, A and B. What happens? Yung legitim will only be divided, no? Divided by 2, 250. Okay, 250 kay A, 250 kay B. Pero nilagay niya sa will na gusto niya bigyan ng 100,000 yung friend niyang si F. Okay, best friend niyang si F. Bigyan niya ng 100,000. What will happen? F will now have 100,000. Di meron pang natitira sa free portion na 400,000. Anong gagawin doon? I-divide din siya equally between A and B. So ang makukuha ni A will be 450, ay tama ba? Okay. So 250 and 200K, okay? And then B will be 250 and 200K, 450. F will have 100,000. Okay? Now, suppose sinabi niya, gusto ko bigay sa friend ko 700,000. 1 million lang yung estate niya. Hindi pwede ibigay yung 700 na full sa kanya. Why? Kahit nakalagay yun sa last will and testament niya, it has to be tempered by the requirements of the law. Kaya nga, titignan, kaya nga pinoprobate din yan. So ano mangyayari? Up to the extent of 500,000 lang because that's the only free portion that you could give. Attorney, may kabit ako, binigay sa kabit. Bibigay ko sa kabit ko, hindi pwede. Disqualified, disallowed po siya because of another provision in the civil code. Okay? So, but yung anak mo, okay, may anak doon sa illegitimate, yun makakapag-inherit. Okay? So, in our second example, even if the legacy was there, very clear, 700,000, hindi pa pwede ibigay because the limit of the free portion that you are allowed to give is only 500,000. What happens? 500,000 lang doon, 250, 250. Hindi po pwede na babawasan mo ang legitim. No? Because our law, family code provides talaga a guarantee to the heirs, okay? Legitim. All right. How about compulsory heirs? Okay. Compulsory heirs. So, assuming po, no? Assuming na, wait lang po. Assuming 9 million po yung estate. Anong gagawin po natin ulit? Paano dinidivide yung mana? Ayan. So, I hope po no, you can still follow. Okay? 9 million po yung estate. Divide it by 2. Bakit dinidivide? Kasi para makita natin yung legitim, which is the mandatory portion for the heirs, and then the free portion. Okay? So, 4.5 million legitim, 4.5 million free portion. Assuming that the testator, okay, testator died 2015. Tingnan niyo po dito testator, that means there's a will, no? Kasi kung wala, edi hindi siya makakapagbigay no ng free portion sa kung sino niya gusto. So, assuming no, the testator died 2015, tapos may 3 siyang anak. Okay? All right. Baka tatanungin niyo, bakit attorney hindi sa magulang? Kasi yung iba sinasabi, dapat magulang muna, no? Ganon. Kasi galing naman din sa kanila to or maybe binigay nila or whatever, no? But you see, in estate or in succession, you always remember that love goes down first. It goes down, pababa, no? Sa line. Okay? Pag walang pababa sa linya, ibig sabihin wala kang anak, walang pababa, no? That's the only time that love goes up. Now, pag walang down, walang up, patay na lahat, then the nearest love spreads. Okay, the nearest will exclude the farthest relative. Okay, so that's the law. And paano tayo nag-i-inherit? Okay, meron po tayong parang, you have to do the family tree. Okay, the first thing that you do, pag attorney, meron po kaming mga mana pa, may properties pa, the first thing that you do is make a family tree. Sino ba itong mga to? Ganyan. Okay, gaya po nito, yung testator, namatay 2015. Actually, naunang namatay yung anak niya, si A ng 2014. Okay? Ngayon, paano di-divide yung 9 million? Okay, let's go first to the legitim. 4.5 million siya. So that means the 3 kids, heirs po, yan po, okay. Yung 3 kids po na yan will divide equally 4.5 million. Kaya nakita po din nyo dito, 1.5 kay A, 1.5 kay B, 1.5 kay C. Patay na po si A. By right of representation, pag may anak si A, X and Y, assuming in this case, X and Y, by right of representation, they will be the one to receive the 1.5 million in behalf of A who died earlier. Ibig sabihin, 750,000 kay X, 750,000 kay Y. Okay. Now, when it comes to the free portion, dahil nauna siyang namatay, hindi na siya makakakuha by right of representation. Only B and C. Bakit? Nauna siya eh. Okay? So magdi-divide yung 4.5 million, 2.25 million sa anak na B, 2.25 kay C. This is an eye-opener for everyone kasi everything sinasabi minsan, attorney, dapat equal lahat. No, no? Not everything that is equal is legal. Kasi the law provides for that. Mas malaki si Pisa kasi dapat amin naman yung A kahit namatay yung tatay namin. No, but that's the law. The law may be harsh, but that is the law. Okay, the free portion will only be divided by kay B and C. Right? This is, of course, if there is a will. Alright? So, yan yung mga compulsory heirs. Okay? Ito, napakaganda po to na case. No? I was very intrigued with this case. Okay, in the will of Consuelo Morente, no, in this Morente versus De La Santa, okay, it contains the following clauses. Nakakatuwa yung nilagay niya. So yung babae, okay, nilagay niya, I hereby order that all real estate which may belong to me shall pass to my husband, Gumersindo de la Santa. Okay? That my said husband shall not leave my brothers after my death. And that he shall not marry anyone. O, di ba? Nilagay mo sa last will and testament, I will be the first and I will be the last. Okay? My husband, when I die, will not marry anyone. Should my said husband have children by anyone, he shall not convey any portion of the property left by me, except the 1/3 part thereof, and the 2 remaining thirds shall be and remain for my brother Vicente or his children, should he have any. O, diba? Ang ganda nung condition niya. 1, valid ba yan? O, diba? Number 3, after my death, o, diba? Hindi naman, I direct my husband to do the Camarin in which the bakery is located, which is one of the properties belonging to me. So, pag namatay ako, doon ka titira. Okay? Kasi nandun yung bakery. So, the issue now is, the issue here with the Supreme Court, hindi lahat ng issues no ni-raise. Yung kapatid ni...
legitimate child.
Sige po. Yung kapatid ni Consuelo, when she died, filed no, a case in court. Of course, nagpo-probate and then filed the case in court kasi less than 6 months, yung husband ni Consuelo married another person. Less than 6 months from death. No? She already married. So itong sister, sabi niya sa court, unfair to. He should be denied. Hindi na dapat siya, no, para siyang na-disqualify, hindi na siya dapat i-inherit kasi hindi niya na-fulfill yung condition na sinabi ng kapatid niya that he shall not marry anyone. You know, it's very surprising yung decision ng Supreme Court in this case. Sabi niya,
dating gusto mo yung sa kaibigan.
Oo. It is not the intent, sabi niya, it is not the intent of Consuelo that in writing that condition na disqualified, no, or madi-disinherit yung husband niya when he marries someone. Sinabi lang niya doon na he shall not marry. Okay? Pero hindi sinabi na disqualified siya or he will be disinherited.
So, halimbawa, example,
ibig sabihin po,
okay, tanggal na ako sa picture.
sige po.
So, natin
Ay, ma'am, paki-mute po. You're being
mute
heard,
na lang. Sige po.
Jennifer.
So yun, no? The Supreme Court said that it was not the intention of the wife to disinherit the husband once he marries another person. Imagine, actually parang 4 months, no? Less than 6 months, nag-marry na siya agad. So, what is the lesson there? If you want to disinherit, okay, or disqualify someone from inheriting or disinherit, you have to be specific about it. You have to abide with the provisions of the law on the grounds, on the things that you will put in the will in order for it to be very clear. Okay, so that means, ano nangyari? Yung court case, no, nung kapatid niya was actually, even up to the Supreme Court, it was this. Oh, yun. So now, let's go to the, okay. legitimate and free portion. Okay. Paano po pag may anak sa labas? Ito po yung issue, no, which is actually so sad, but it's 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 common, no. Marami pong instances sa ganito. Nagugulat ka na lang after namatay ang asawa mo, meron palang mga illegitimate children. Okay, that means they are children born out of wedlock. Okay, illegitimate children. So let's assume that the net estate, no? Net hereditary estate is again 9 million. Okay? So father, mother, and then the testator, yung namatay, no? And then there's this parent, okay, ng illegitimate children. Okay? The wife, or maybe pwede rin lalaki, no? The partner, okay, out of the marriage, okay, yun, will not in any way inherit. Okay? Ngayon, yung children, the illegitimate children, X and Y, will still have a portion. Okay? So how do we divide the 9 million? The same. You divide 9 million by 2, okay, so tag 4.5 po yan. 4.5 na legitim, okay, that is for the heirs, compulsory heirs. 4.5 million for the free portion. Okay, yung green po na nakikita nyo, that's the free portion. May dagdag po dito, adopted child. Paano pag inadopt ko siya? Hindi ko siya biological child. Inadopt ko siya, hindi po ito yung, iba po yung kaso, no, na hindi, kinuha ko na lang sa attorney tapos tumira na siya dito. Hindi po yun, no? It has to be adopted, legally adopted. So, adopted child, A and B, biological, legitimate children, C, adopted child. So, let's divide first the legitim. Okay? So, what will happen to the legitim? There 4.5 legitim will be divided into 3. Okay, divided into 3. Bakit, ma'am? Because the adopted child, okay, is equivalent to the biological child. No, this is so beautiful because in the gospel of Jesus Christ, because of what he has done, di ba? We are adopted son, we are adopted children of the Most High God because of what the Lord has done. So, eto siya, no? Parang, you also have all the rights of a legitimate child. A legitimate child. So, 1.5 million each. So, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So, a total of 4.5. So, the whole legitim goes to that. Attorney, paano naman yung legal na asawa? Legal wife? Okay? Hindi ba dapat siya nag-share dun sa legitim? No? The 1.5 million, bakit 1.5, attorney? Hindi ba dapat kalahati sa akin? Tandaan niyo po, net hereditary estate na po to. Tinanggal na po natin yung share of the surviving spouse. Ibig sabihin, kung conjugal po sana lahat, no, wag na po natin isipin kung meron po kayong prenuptial or kailan kayo kinasal, no? Kasi marami pa pong technicalities dun or the effectivity of the family code. So, assuming lang, no, na gano'n na, natanggal na po yung 50% nyo. Net hereditary estate na po to. Ito lang po yung share nung namatay. Okay, so, anong nakalagay sa batas? Yung asawa po, equal siya sa share ng legitimate child. Now, since the legitimate child, one legitimate child, di ba, either A, B, or C, got 1.5 million, the spouse will also get 1.5 million. But, dahil naibigay na yung 4.5 legitim, kukunin po yun sa free portion. Di po ba? Di ba may free portion po tayo na 4.5 kasi dinivide by 2 natin? Medyo na nagkukana. Kaya po, kumuha na lang po kayo CPA pag medyo nahihirapan po kayo sa computations. No? Kaya kailangan talaga ng CPA, okay, to certify, okay, the estate tax return. So, okay. And, of course, probate of the will, if there's a will. So, 1.5 million will be taken from the free portion. So, ano na lang po ang matitira? Okay? So, yung 4.5, kunin mo yung 1.5, meron na lang po kayong 3 million. Di po ba? 3 million. Okay? So, what will happen? Okay? What will happen now? No? I-divide nyo po muna, no? Medyo i-prorate nyo po siya kasi nakalagay po sa batas, the illegitimate child will get half, no? Half of what a legitimate child gets. Okay? In the free portion, the legitimate child will get 300,000 each. Okay, so 300, 300, 300 plus the surviving spouse, the legal spouse. So 3, 6, 9, 12, di po ba? So 1.2 million na yung kinuha. Now, half of a share of a legitimate child is 150, which is 300,000 divided by 2, 150 each. So, meron ngayon X and Y, tag 150 pa sila. Okay? And then, okay, ano mangyayari? Yung natitira, no? So, meron pang magkakaroon pa ng 750,000 legitimate each yung illegitimate child. So, ganun po siya, no? Kasi may natitirang 1.5 million. Alright? So, yan po yung computation ng net hereditary estate. Okay? Yung partner o yung magulang ng illegitimate children will not inherit. Okay? So, hindi po pwede. Okay? Even in insurance, hindi po siya pwedeng maging beneficiary. Ang spouse, wife or maybe lalaki, no? Yun, hindi po siya makaka-inherit. Okay? So, this is my last slide, okay? When we leave a legacy, no? In Proverbs 13 verse 22, it says here that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. This is so beautiful, Proverbs 13 verse 22. Because you see, you do not just leave an inheritance to your children. You make sure that you have left, you will be leaving a legacy to your children's children. 2 generations, di ba? That is actually being good stewards of the properties that are given to you. Kasi you do not, hindi mo naman madadala lahat ng properties na to. You leave it all behind. Everything that you amass in this earth, you do not bring it wherever you will go, di ba? So this first will keep our life goals, our visions, and our legacy front and center. So we will be choosing how do we use our money today, di ba? So that's the legacy. Now, of course, there are people saying, attorney, how do we plan for this? There's so many ways, no? May tinatawag po tayong hindi po tax evasion. Ang tinatawag po natin is tax avoidance. How do you legally avoid tax? By using the provisions of the law. Kasi alam niyo po, the problem with some people is that you have the right, you are owner of that, but you do not have possession. Because ownership is different from possession. Ibig sabihin, meron ka rin karapatan yun because you do not know about it, you don't exercise it. Diba? Or you are the owner of that, but you cannot take possession of it. So yun po, no? Dapat mag-merge yun. You are the owner of that, you take advantage of that right, and you also become possessors of that. Yun. So, legacy. So, thank you so much. No, that's an hour. So, if ever you have questions, you can just scan the QR code or you just email admin at the CLAO, that's cobacobloanaccountingoffice.com. All small caps po yan. Okay, or just scan the QR code or you just connect po with the organizers and then they can just send me your questions po. So thank you so much for listening and God bless everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, attorney. It's so very informative. Ang galing-galing talaga. That's why favorite namin si Attorney Alet. Okay.
Tita
So,
Benis,
yes, press.
may I request everyone, for those who have questions with Attorney Alet, kindly copy furnish us with your questions. The email address of our REBAP Manda is board, BOARD, at rebapmanda.com. So we will be aware that you sent an email to Attorney Alet para matulungan po kayo na mag-follow up din ng sagot kay Attorney Alet. Okay ba yun, Attorney Alet?
Opo,
Thank you,
okay na,
ma'am.
okay, sir.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Thank you, Press. So, ano pa, before we proceed to our Q&A, let us first have a 5-minute short break para to let Attorney Alet rest and have a drink first. So, we'll be back in 5 minutes po. In the meantime, take your coffee or have a water break. In 5 minutes, we will be back for our Q&A. Thank you.
You were walking in while I was walking out. I know I should be bulletproof by now, but I took one to the heart the second I saw your face. How's your dad, how's your brother, and how's your mom? You were talking like it didn't hurt you at all. Said it was nice catching up, but I wanted to say, how are you? Better than you've ever been. How are you not dying just a little bit? I'm just trying to figure out, how are you so happy now? How are you going out and having fun? How are you not still in love? But I bit my tongue and just smiled. Said I'm good that it's been a while.
Tulak akong Raisa.
Cause what's the
Ay,
point
hindi
if
na.
you're already
May kimchi fried rice.
where it isn't a lie when you say you're fine. Played the part and said everything I'm supposed to, pretending every part of me didn't wanna ask you, how are you? Better than you've ever been. How are you not dying just a little bit? I'm just trying to figure out, how are you so happy now? How are you going out and having fun? How are you not still in love? But I bit my tongue and just smiled. Said I'm good that it's been a while. How are you? How are you now waking up every night like I do? I'm nowhere close to over it, so baby, how are you?
Ito hindi na ako.
Better than you've ever been. How are you now? Dying just a little bit. I'm just trying to figure out, how are you so happy now? How are you going out and having fun? How are you not still in love? But I bit my tongue and just smiled. Said I'm good that it's been a while. How are you? How are you? Said I'm good that it's been a while. How are you? My intuition's hard to listen to, so I go missing. My friends are high and we've already had this conversation. I'm getting tired, but it's the product of a generation. Self-medicated on the thought of someone's validation. I read a different definition definition of what love is. I wish somebody would've told me what it wasn't. Cause I tried to fix it, fought and quit it. Either way you're spinning, I wasn't in it. I'm going through it, trying to find the meaning. I talk about it all the time, but I'm not healing. I couldn't help it, help what I'm feeling. You find the chaos if that's what you believe in. You find the chaos if that's what you believe in.
Magkano yung, pinadala mo ba yung Exhale Grace?
I hate it. I try to
Wala.
raise
And then,
my face at the
kukuhain mo lang daw.
bad days. But I learned to wake up without you. You learn to wake up without you. Thought it was love, but you're just a drug. And ooh, it was never enough for us. I let you change me. And if I were you, I'd hate me too.
Give me Dennis, baka we can resume na.
Yan, okay. Thank you, thank you. So before we start our Q&A, kindly open po all the cameras para for our photo op. Ryan, can you take charge of our photo op with Attorney Alex?
Ay, okay ma'am, wait po.
Kindly open po all our cameras for
Ako
our
hindi
photo op.
makapag-open kasi mahina po ang bandwidth ko.
Okay lang, Pres.
Ma-eject po ako. Pasensya na po.
So those who can open their camera, kindly open. Hi, Ma'am Hi, Press Lingy. Nasa tripping ka ata, nakapayong ka pa, Press, Okay. Ryan, mag-count ka na lang. Okay na.
Okay na ma'am. Sorry.
Okay na.
Okay na.
Grabe naman to. Nagsasalita pa ata ako. Sige, again mo. Pakiulit na
Diti
lang.
Ryan, count ka ulit ng 1, 2, 3
Yeah,
para
ready
naka-smash po
ang
ang
mga
ating mga
attendees natin.
Sige sir po. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, so to our exciting Q&A portion, nandito na ba si Attorney? Is Attorney back? Si Attorney Alex?
Opo.
Okay,
Hindi
yeah, okay.
bumitaw si Attorney Alet. Nag-antay din siya talaga, ma'am.
Yeah, kaya favorite namin si Attorney Talagang ang bukod sa ang galing na very accommodating pa sa lahat ng request ng mga attendees. Thank you. So the first question po, yung unang nag-post sa chat group natin is from Samsung. Hindi identified attorney. How about if extrajudicial settlement has been done with ICAR, then the heirs found there are still properties that has not been included in the EJS. What proper document to be done? Pwede pa raw bang humabol kung may nakitang properties na hindi nasama?
Yes po, no? In fact, included po yan, no, dun sa amnesty. Yung mga nakalagay po yung provision dun, as I've discussed a while ago, that it also applies to those properties na hindi pala na-include. Okay, hindi pala na-include dun sa original extrajudicial settlement. Okay, so what documentation can be done? Okay, pwede po kayong, in addition to the extrajudicial settlement, you can also execute another extrajudicial settlement for those properties, or papapirma nyo rin po, it may be an addendum, no, to the extrajudicial settlement, but still it has to be signed by all parties pa rin kasi these properties part pa rin po ng estate, so lahat pa rin po dapat may consent to that, especially the heirs. Okay, so the same procedure po siya, and avail it within the amnesty period po.
Okay, so yun, thank you, Attorney. So next question po from Robinson Poblete. Is it possible to remove as an heir from the will, but you are not but you did not commit any crime against your father or mother. The reason is that your father has a mistress, wow, and found out that the property of your father is transferred already to the mistress. As a punishment of your father, because you found out the transfer, you will be removed as an heir, and he will give it to the charity instead. Is it possible, attorney? Pwedeng gawin ba yun? Parang
Okay.
telenovela ah.
Oo nga.
Nagkaroon ng mistress si father. So si father, binawi yung inheritance at sa charity ibibigay. Is it
Okay, so
possible?
may dalawang aspect, no, yung tanong mo. One is, pwede ka bang ma-disinherit? Okay, and then another is, yung sa property, no, na binigay sa mistress. Okay, let's deal with the property. Yung property na binigay sa mistress, you have to check out what document was used for that, no, for the transfer. Kasi if it is deed of donation, then of course that is illegal, especially if you could prove nga na mistress niya. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-donate doon. And or kapag nilagay naman niya deed of absolute sale, yun siya yung ginagawa, di ba? You also make sure in the BIR pwede mo siyang pwede siyang ma-report to, kasi kung wala siyang capacity to purchase or capacity to get to get that property, then makikita yon. Okay, na hindi invalid siya, simulated yung transfer or sale dun sa mistress. Okay, number two, yung kanina, can you be disinherited? Sabi ko nga, kung ang paggawa ng will, no, notarial will is very strict, pati po ang pag-disinherit, very strict po ang batas natin dyan. Okay, ang civil code natin dyan. And it must also be made, kahit ginawa niya pa dun sa will, it has to be with a cause specified by the law. So you go through Article 916 to 921, okay, of the family code, and very specific yan, no? Wala ka namang attempt against the life of the testator or your father mo, or you did not commit a crime. Hindi lang siya sa crime, no? Maraming grounds, okay? And very specific dapat yung father mo to disinherit you based on this ground, okay? So, wala dito yung parang, nakita mo or you witnessed that ito pala kabit ng tatay mo. Hindi siya among of those grounds. Kasi hindi ka naman nag-attempt against the life of your father or yung spouse ng father mo or yung descendant or ascendant niya. So, maraming nakalista, no, dun sa civil code natin ng ground. So, huwag kang mag-alala, this will not be a valid ground. Kung yun lang that you witnessed that, na transfer and nasa punishment din siya, hindi pa pwede. You will still, hindi pa pwede na yun ang magiging ground, no? Sa probate, most probably, hindi yan ma-allow as ground for disinheritance.
Thank you, attorney. Hope Sir Robinson na-address ni attorney yung concern. So, note po from Miss Jennifer. So, it means daw ba, attorney, 50% for ledge time and 50% free portion? Is that correct?
Opo, correct po yun. That is, tandaan niyo po, no, T po yun, testator. Ibig sabihin may will po yun. Kasi kung walang will, di buo po yun. Buo po ang division nun. Di po ba? Pero kapag may will po, only the free portion can be given to anyone, no, na hindi, kahit kapitbahay mo, whoever. Okay, pero hindi po pwede pets. No? And definitely a breeding person, natural person.
Okay, so from Miss Jennifer Uleto, as far as I know, legally adopted children are considered legal heirs and equal to that of legitimate children. Is it correct, attorney?
Legally adopted children, yeah. Yes. Okay. Legally adopted children, legal heirs. Okay. Dun sa example po natin kanina, nakita niyo po, di ba? They inherit the same as if you are a natural born, biological child of the parent.
Okay, so from Miss Jennifer ulit, attorney, if no children, first line of legitime is the parents, correct? If both parents are deceased, it's the sibling.
Okay, so
correct?
Yes, ang mangyayari po, kung walang pababa, okay, love goes down, di po ba? Pag wala po, aakyat po siya. Okay.
And then pa sideways. The
Oo,
siblings.
aakyat po siya sa parents. Pag wala po, ang family tree po, no? So hindi po siya magko-cross, laging pataas siya and then bababa. Okay, so your first degree cousin is actually your fourth civil degree of consanguinity. So parang ikaw aakyat sa parents mo and then aakyat sa lolo mo, di po ba? So, 1, 2, tapos bababa sa tito mo, 3, and then cousin mo, 4. Fourth civil degree. Ganun po siya. Oo, hindi po siya nagko-cross. So, yung brother mo is actually your second, no?
Second
Second
in line.
civil degree. Yeah. 1, tatas mo na siya sa parents and then bababa sa 2. Ganun po siya.
Thank you, Attorney. From Miss Alicia, Attorney, how to determine for the legally adopted children if the adoption was done in a shortcut method, get the child from the biological mother and registered under the name of the adopting mother. Does the child considered a legally adopted child?
Okay. So, ang tawag po dyan is simulated, no? Simulated or simulated birth certificate. So, I want you to read more about this, no? There is an amnesty. Okay, amnesty in the revised, kasi po liable, criminally liable ang nagsisimulate po ng birth certificate. Okay,
so hindi
yes.
allowed yun?
Opo, hindi po pwede na nagsisimulate. It's a criminal liability, okay? But the law, okay, on February 21, 2019, yan. So, Republic Act, ito po, no? Republic Act 11222. Okay, allowing the rectification of simulated birth certificate, birth records, and prescribing administrative adoption proceedings for the purpose. So, ibig sabihin, in a nutshell po, no, yung violation, which is the revised penal code, revised penal code po yan, okay? It extends the amnesty for violation of the law against simulated birth certificate to 10 years from effectivity. Okay, effectivity is February 21, 2019. So, until 2029, those who have simulated birth certificates, you have to avail of this amnesty because it's only 10 years from the effectivity of this act, or else you can be held criminally liable. You don't have to go to court, okay? You can adopt the child as long as the child has been treated as your own, and the adoption you will prove with DSWD will be the best interest of the child, okay? You don't have to go to court. There's a procedure, okay, in that law on how do you make it legal, okay? So, Republic Act 11222.
So, it's safe, Attorney, to make it legal para yung rights niya protected, di ba?
Yes, I hope po. Tingnan niyo po, no, yung mga requirements doon na buhay pa yung nag-simulate, okay? May mga requirements po doon, okay? But avail of it up to 2029, February 2029.
Next question, Attorney, from Ms. Charisman. Number 1, what is the threshold in relation to estate tax that would require a CPA?
Okay. Na-discuss po natin 5 million.
5 million. Okay.
Dati
Number
po 2, ngayon 5.
Number 2, naku, haba na process on requirements for extrajudicial. Ma'am, siguro ito better na lang.
Oo, mahaba-haba.
Kasi ang haba it would take, parang mag-a-another seminar ulit si Attorney.
Oo.
Eto, what if the legal spouse of the decedent doesn't want to get her share? Is it possible for automatically to divide it to the heirs?
I-waive niya. Actually, sa extrajudicial settlement, you can waive naman. Opo, as long as you abide with the requirements of the law on how you legally waive it. Opo, yung share ng spouse kung gusto niya. Pero tandaan niyo po tandaan niyo po si BIR, okay? Iba po yung every transfer is taxable. So, okay. So, ita-transfer niyo po estate, no? Mata-transfer po sa inyo. And then how do you waive it? Maybe by deed of donation o fund. So magkakaroon po yun ng corresponding tax.
So transfer tax, magta-tax ulit.
Pwede, yes, possible po yun.
Kasi
bawat transfer na.
Yeah, okay, sorry. If I wanted to remove a property in my will, what is the process? Do I simply update or amend it to create a new will?
Yes, oo. Lalo na kung hindi naman na sa'yo yun. Diba? Nilagay mo siya, tapos hindi na pala sa'yo yun, you included in the will. Yes, you are allowed to make another will. Okay? It will be presumed na ni-revoke mo yung previous will mo.
Is an adopted child considered part of legitime or part of free portion?
As if legal child siya. As if biological child siya. Basta adoption process po siya in court.
Yung hindi shortcut, attorney, ha?
Hindi
Basta yung
simulated.
legal.
Opo, hindi po simulated na,
Basta,
ay, nasulat mo na lang. Hindi po.
okay. So from Mr. Robinson, what will we do if the father committed bigamous marriage judicially because of embarrassment? He has done a last will document saying he will disinherit all his legal sons who are legitimate child and make a lying statement saying his life intended to kill by their son, which is not true, just to disinherit his sons as a vengeance because the children found out some of the properties was transferred to a mistress and revealed it.
Ganun din.
The same din. So, sir, hindi ka pwedeng mag-disinherit.
Oo. At saka sir, patay na yung father mo by then, ipoprobate yung will. So, malamang, no, in court, it will be disallowed. Especially kung hindi naman siya among those valid grounds based on Article 919 of the Civil Code.
So, sir, attorney from our Lawag chapter, si Sister Sid, pag nag-waive attorney, then after which namatay na ang parents, magiging valid pa ba ang waiver of rights?
What do you mean? Sino nag-waive?
Yeah, parang malabo, sir.
Pero
Sir
tandaan
Sid.
nyo, no? Oo, pag may document kayo, kahit pa deed of sale, di ba, brokers tayo, kung namatay yung contest, hindi nyo naman na-transfer, it will go to the estate. Kasi yun ang problem, no? It will go to the estate. Kasi hindi naman na-transfer. It will hindi naman na-register na na-transfer. Kasi hindi naman na-transfer. It will go. So, definitely, that property will go to the estate.
Okay. Attorney, ako naman may personal question.
Sige po.
Deed of donations and then hindi na-transfer. 15 years hindi na-transfer. Valid pa ba yun?
Namatay na po yung nag-donate?
Hindi pa.
Pwede pa po yun. Oo.
So, valid pa?
Opo, valid po yun. Oo. Yun lang, magpe-penalize po kayo sa donor's tax.
Okay.
Oo, kasi may deadline po yun, pati transfer tax, donor's tax, so lahat po yun magpe-penalize. Unless, gagawa po kayo ng mga...
another deed.
Yes, total buhay po siya, tsaka okay naman kayo, o di i-allow naman po niya. So you can do.
Okay. What if, from Miss Eileen, what if there is an only one child? Will the surviving spouse get a share?
Ay, opo. Oo. Even if there's one child, may share pa rin po yung legal. Why? Yung spouse. Oo. Doon po, sa example natin, na taon lang na dalawa yung anak. Pero kahit isa po yun, meron pa rin share po yung legal spouse. Only yung kabit, no, paramour or yun, partner out of wedlock, parang ganun, ang hindi open po.
Okay. Attorney from Miss Cynthia, pag nag-waiver na po ba ang mga siblings over one sibling, pwede pa po bang bawiin yon kahit na-transfer na?
Uy, na-transfer na. Naku, mahihirapan na po kayo. O, kasi na-transfer na po siya eh. O, you mean na?
Di ba, attorney, meron yung parang yung Rule 4, Rule Section 4, Rule 74, na pwede yung habol-habol within 2 years?
Ay, opo. Yun po yung mga heirs na na-preterition, yung hindi po na-include. Pero ito po is willingly, inayos nyo kayo before the... Opo, subscribe and sworn na po yun. I mean, legal document po siya. Unless sasabihin niyo po na by force, intimidation, you were just forced to sign that document because I really don't want to waive it. Pero nagawa mo na yun, na-transfer na, and then you change your mind. O, medyo mahihirapan po kayo na ibalik yung property sa inyo. Lalo na kung go through all of that processes na po.
Okay. Attorney, there's a follow-up question from Ms. Jennifer. Testator is a single person. Parents are deceased already and only has one brother. Can the brother be disinherited?
Sorry po, ulitin natin. Testator is a single person. Okay.
Parents are deceased.
Okay.
Yeah, and only the one brother. Can the brother be disinherited?
Disinherited. Hindi. Kasi po yung disinherit will only be pag meron pong will. I-disinherit mo by virtue of a will. Dapat po may will yon. Pero kung namatay yung testator, na without a will, that means lahat ng property niya magdi-divide out of court or in court. The brother will inherit, lalo na kung siya lang yung natitira.
Yeah, kung legal heir si brother. Hindi
kasi the nearest will exclude the farthest. Kung brother, so ano yung nearest? Kung ma-prove mo na ikaw yung nearest relative, ikaw yung mag-i-inherit.
Sa bagay naman here, attorney, sa Philippines, pag namatay ka, dami yung relative. Bigla, biglang dami relative mo eh, di ba? Lalo yung
Oo.
marami kang estate, di ba? So, yeah, from DS Concha Realty, maari po ba na habang buhay ang parents ay magpamana na sila ng property sa mga anak nila? Kung sino ang nais
Nakapaka-sensitive.
nilang pamanahan, may habol ba ang
Ah,
estate? Buhay
okay.
pa attorney, and then papamana na.
Opo, tandaan niyo po yung succession natin. Only after death, di po ba? So, wag po pamana ang word natin. Kung gusto niyo po doon, donation. You
Donation
will
or
donate.
sale.
Oo, donate. By
Donate.
virtue, oo, donation po ang gagawin ninyo. 6% din po ng donor's tax eh. O, pero tandaan niyo po na kapag nag-donate po kayo, nasa batas din po that the person, parang advance inheritance na yun, will collate the property by amount as if it is an advance inheritance of that heir.
Oh, so pag nag-parents nag-donate sa isang anak, when they pass away, parang advance, ano lang yon inheritance.
Yes, yes. You have to collate it in, hindi naman po kailangan ibalik yung property in amount or in value. You have to collate it as part of the estate. Tapos doon pa rin i-determine whether or not you complied with the law sa compulsory heir, sa legal or free portion, depende. Ganun po siya.
So sa question niya, attorney, may habol pa ba yung illegitimate child kung namatay na siguro yung parents as an heir, di ba?
Basta yung illegitimate po, may habol talaga. Whether or not doon sa specific property na yun, baka may ibang property pa po siya, di ba? Oo. Kasi kung isa lang pala yung property niya, tapos dinonate pa lang yun doon sa isa, marami pa palang ibang heirs, kailangan, no? Kailangan mag-share siya kasi na-over yung bigay sa kanya. Iko-collate mo po yun eh.
Okay. So from Lawag again, attorney, how about patay na ang testator? Tapos yung eldest nagpagawa ng affidavit of ownership sa mga property ng parents, pero hindi pa na-transfer. Then he wants to sell. Di po ba need pa rin ng SPA from his other siblings in order to consummate the sale?
Hindi po document of conveyance ang affidavit of ownership. Ibig ko sabihin, hindi po siya nagta-transfer ng ownership by virtue of an affidavit. It has to be a deed, either a deed of sale, a deed of donation, or by gratuity or estate na po nakuha mo without any amount by estate inheritance. So, kahit mag-affidavit of ownership po siya, hindi po yun magta-transfer unless baka po tax deck lang po yung sinasabi, no? Kasi kapag titled po yung property, hindi po pwede na mata-transfer yan by affidavit of ownership. Oo. At saka, pagpatay na po, wala na rin pong SPA. Mamamatay pong SPA kasi dependent po yan sa life nung person na nag-execute ng SPA. Oo, hindi po na porque may SPA ka, namatay na yung nagbigay siya ng SPA, pwede mo pa rin gamitin yun. Hindi na po kasi patay na yung tao eh. Okay, you have to go through the heirs. Sila na po ngayon ang magbibigay sa'yo ng SPA to transact that property.
Okay, attorney, thank you. Attorney from Miss Jennifer, if no children, are the spouse considered heirs?
Wala pong, oo. Opo, meron pong rules dyan, no? Opo, na buhay po ba yung parents, gano'n. Meron pong sharing, may computation po yan, no? According to the law. But yes, magiging heir ba siya? Yes. Also, kung conjugal po yung property, hindi siya exclusive property, then 50% share of the surviving spouse mapupunta rin po sa kanya.
So, attorney, meron akong question ulit na pahabol.
Sige po.
So, if the property is an inheritance property, and then ng husband, and then namatay si husband, yun bang inherited property ni husband will be inherited by the wife? Minana lang niya yung from the parents. So, magiging part ba yun ng pwedeng kunin ni wife? O sa children lang talaga yun?
Yeah,
Kasi
ganda.
minana lang ni husband eh, di ba? So, pwede bang makialam si wife doon?
Oo, okay. So, depende po yan, no? Kailan kayo kinasal and also kailan niya na-inherit. Okay? Kasi magkaiba po yung rules. Kung na-inherit niya po, no, during your marriage, assuming po na wala po kayong prenuptial and assuming na effective na po yung kinasal po kayo after the effectivity of the family code, uh, at na-inherit niya during the marriage, exclusive po yun.
Okay.
Exclusive. It will go to the children. Pero, okay, pag prior to the marriage siya, okay, pwede po siyang maging conjugal. Oo, depende po dun sa date din ng marriage nyo. And check also yung kailan po kayo kinasal before the effectivity of the family code. Kasi
So,
meron pong presume, no, property relationships po eh.
yung family code ba, attorney, na you're mentioning, is it yung August 2, 1988?
Yes. Were you married po before or after that? Ganon.
So they have to know
August
if
3,
married before
1988.
August 2, 1988.
Opo, kasi before the effectivity po of the family code, conjugal partnership of gains ang presumption po no ng sharing ninyo. Pero after po dyan, absolute community property po. Kung hindi kayo nag-prenuptial agreement, everything that you own, absolutely conjugal.
Okay, interesting.
Opo.
Very interesting. Okay, from our REBAP LMP, Ma'am Pinky, ang property donated last year to a son, separated na from his wife. May right po ba ang wife?
Donation. Opo. Yan, no? Family code na naman po, no? Anything that was given gratuitous title, ang tawag po, no? Ibig sabihin, wala kang binayaran. Pwede siyang maging exclusive property. Okay? So, kung baga, nag-marry na po yung son, no? Married na po siya at the time na dinonate yung property sa kanya, exclusive po niya yun. Kasi during the marriage, assuming na after August 3, 1988 po siya, no? Tapos wala siyang prenuptial agreement, exclusive property because it was gratuitous title during the marriage. Okay? Kaya nga po malaki yung effect. Tinatanong ko yung kliyente ko, donation ba gagawin mo o deed of sale? Ganon. No? Lalo na kung tao. Kasi may effects po yun. No? Pag deed of sale mo po kasi ang property, conjugal po yan. Both.
Okay.
Yes. Pag donation, there's a possibility pwede po siyang maging exclusive. That means the spouse will not have share of that. It goes through the line pababa. Apo mo, meron.
Thank you, attorney.
And to be safe, ask nyo si Attorney Alet before you make any decision. Consult nyo si Attorney Alet kasi very, ang lalaki ng bearing, di ba? Pag bumalik ka ng ginawang mga bid ng documents.
Yeah, although the same po yung rate, 6% siya, pero meron siyang consequences.
Yeah, ang laki ng effect. Yes, from LMP again, si Ma'am Mary Faye Canlas. Bago namatay si mother, gumawa siya ng deed of sale sa isang anak. Kasi galit siya sa the rest. Wow, parang talaga. Teleserye. Kasi may ginawa sa kanya hindi maganda. Pero walang proof of payment. Valid ba yun? Deed of sale para sa isang anak lang.
One, kung ma-prove mo yon, simulated yon or simulated deed of sale. Kasi wala namang capacity to purchase yung anak, yung kapatid mo for example. But another thing is, na-transfer ba yung property? Kasi kung yun, may effect yun. Kasi pag di na-transfer yun, balik yun sa estate. Kahit pa nakagawa na ng notarized deed of sale, estate yun. Papasok yan sa estate. Walang
hindi
effect.
na-transfer.
Yes, hindi na-transfer eh. So, at the time of death, registered owner, mother mo pa rin.
So sorry pag hindi na-transfer.
Oo, kaya maingat po tayo kahit deed of sale yan, dapat i-transfer nyo na agad.
Dapat fast action talaga once na nabili or transfer right away.
Hindi pa daw na, good. It goes back to the estate.
Okay. So from Ma'am Laila Nigal, can we buy the property of our parents or vice versa?
Yes, opo. You can purchase the properties. Okay. Ang bawal lang po is for the spouses to donate to each other. Parang may provision po kasing civil code about that. But can a child purchase a property of the parents? Of course. Of course. That will not be donation. Hindi siya gratuito. So, hindi mo kailangan i-collate yun.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney. So, meron pa po, for parents, ito po, when is the best time to donate? Before or after marriage?
Ayan.
Donate na ata si Ma'am Mina from REBAP Pampanga, si President ng Pampanga chapter. Magdo-donate na ata, kaya tinatanong niya na, when is the best time to donate?
Oo, sa akin po ha, after marriage kung walang prenuptial agreement. Pero walang problema before or after if payag naman ng prenup. Oh, 'di ba? Kasi yung prenup ina-annotate po 'yan sa bawat property na involved. Nasasabihin mo, this is my exclusive property. So, marami naman pong open-minded na mga young spouses ngayon. So, when do you donate it? It depends, no? When they're willing to have a prenup, then why not? Di po ba? Before or after, that's okay. Pero kung ngayon na, after effectivity of the family code, mas maganda after marriage para exclusive yun.
So, yun ma'am, press me na kung gusto niyo sa anak niyo lang talaga after marriage, 'di ba? That's
Yes.
the best time. Pero kung willing niyo na ma-share sa daughter-in-law niyo or son-in-law niyo, edi donate niyo na as a gift before marriage. Parang gano'n, 'di ba?
Or best, donate nyo na po sa apo nyo kahit minor siya, as long as it is in the presence of yung legal guardian niya. Hindi po nila matatransfer yun without a court order. Kasi minor yan eh. O, di ba? So definitely, maganda
So, pag
rin.
ayun, so attorney, dagdag ko doon, if minor ang pinag-donatan mo, automatic na ba when it comes of age, sa kanya na yon? O may mga gagawin pang mga documentation to transfer through this
Pag nag-18 po siya, oo.
automatic yon?
Oo. I think siguro it will not be anymore parang transfer, you don't go to the BIR, no? It's more of like, kung gusto mo na maganda yung sa title mo, more of like go to the RD na. Kasi nakalagay doon guardian, ganito, di ba? Age, ganito. Oo. But if you sell it, you just prove na, birth certificate mo, ganito ka na, you can legally sell it already.
So kung gusto nilang ma-clean yung title, punta lang sila sa RD, present na birth certificate para mawala na yung guardianship, right?
Oo. Pero kung ibebenta nyo naman po yun, edi bakit pa? Diretso na po siya. Of legal age, ilalagay nyo na po sa deed of sale.
Okay, thank you. Also, attorney, one more from Miss Ludi. Hello po, I'm from the US with properties in the Philippines. Do I have to have a will from the Philippines or I can add it to my will here in the US?
Yeah, okay. So it's the same po dun sa diniscuss ko kanina na nilagay po sa batas natin na even if the will was executed abroad, as long as sa formalities po abroad in the US, valid po yun, you can just add it there. And then pag pre-novate po yan, ia-allow po ng court dito. Even if hindi pa po na-probate dyan, it can still also be the subject of probate here. So you don't have to do the will here in the Philippines. Pwede na po yung sa will ninyo sa abroad.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that ends our Q&A. And then I'd like to call Press Eugene kasi he mentioned he has questions for attorney. Press Eugene.
Yes, Tita Benny, sorry, I was, mahina ang dating mo po. You were asking about?
I thought you had question, Press.
Ay, email ko kay attorney, mahabang kwento yun.
Ako, mahaba.
Develop ko yun, attorney.
Ayaw ata ipaalam ni Press Eugene yung mga ari-arian niya eh.
Hindi, isang estate po kasi of Attorney Allen, 50-hectare property in Tarlac.
Wow.
So, medyo masalimuot lang po. Manghingi lang ako ng konting advice.
Sige po. I will wait for your email po.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you po.
I already sent po the email address of the office and my office email address po in the chat box.
That's it. So, I'd like to call now our Secretary, Ms. Bell. Are you still here to award the Certificate of Appreciation for Attorney Alo? Also, I think baka he's having technical difficulties. So, I'd just like to present this Certificate of Appreciation to Attorney Joy Alec Tubacu, CPA, real estate broker, and appraiser, for her invaluable contribution as a guest speaker in our webinar topic, Mana Mo, Mana Ko, Sino May Karapatan, given on this day of 18th February 2023 during our first business meeting of REBAP Mandaluyong City Chapter Inc. Thank you so much, Attorney. It's so
very welcome.
Yeah.
Attorney from REBAP Mandaluyong, we would like to express our gratefulness to your really support to the chapter's endeavors po. Maraming
Yes.
salamat, attorney, and we will be continuing to invite you in the years to
Opo.
come kasi marami po ang iyong knowledge bank umaapaw and we need you badly po talaga sa mga topics po namin.
Of course po. I'm glad to be here and thank you so much for everyone for your participation and engagement. And thank you to the team, the old officers po, for inviting me.
Salamat,
Thank you,
Attorney Allen. And
attorney.
as early as now, we would like to announce that the next series of our seminars would be by next month, and that would entail on the retirement. We'll be inviting someone from the Philippine Retirement Authority, but because yung iba po sa atin would like to venture on our respective businesses as real estate practitioners, so at least we will know the know-how on how to establish our own businesses and investments in the near future. So keep posted. We will keep you posted on that one. We will be coordinating with our next speaker by next month, as early as tomorrow, and we will be glad to see you again by next month. Maraming salamat po. I'll turn you over
Thank you
to
so
Tita
much.
Benis, our host.
Yes, thank you again. So to all the participants, we will email you the slide from the top properties and then, attorney, can we request for a slide now? PowerPoint
We'll
slide.
send it na lang po kay Miss Celine, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, attorney. And that's all. That will end our presentation for
Tita
today.
Benis, we will flash our email address again on
Okay.
the screen on the chat box, so they can email us if they want to get a copy of the slides of Attorney Alet. Para lang po ma-refresh lang po ang natin, ang ating pangalan nito. Pa-refresh po kayo sa email address po namin. Ito na po, ini-email ko na, sinesend ko na po sa inyo ngayon. Ayan po. board@rebapmanda.com. Please email
Thank you,
us
Press.
your request for the slides. And for those who will be requesting the recording of Attorney Alet's presentation, we'll be sending it to your presidents, to your
And
chapter
also,
presidents, through
just
RGs po.
yeah,
Okay?
to
Wow,
add,
that's very nice. Thank you very much, Press.
yes, to add,
Thank you
nasa
po.
FB rin po ng
Apa,
Rebap
you can also
Mandaluyong. You can
visit us
also
on our
watch
FB
it
page.
anytime.
At any time, you can actually check the recording po there. Apa.
Okay,
Maraming salamat
thank
and I hope to
you,
see you by
Sheshe.
next month.
See you
Again, this is
again.
Rebak Mandaluyong, the home of quality webinars. We are now signing off. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Officers, please stay. We will be having another meeting, please.
Thank you, Bapak Mandaluyong. God bless.
Salamat, sir. Ryan, can you transfer us to another chat room? Yung mga officers, please.
Okay po, Press. Okay po.
Nandiyan si Gigi, si Jojo, si Tita Flor.
Ay, apa.
You.